my first live stream where I discuss an alleged child predator who I had the ultimate displeasure of talking to back in 2022. I'm going to wait a few minutes before I get into this for people to come in and join the live stream. Before we get going, let me just say, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This man is presumed innocent until guilty, proven guilty in a court of law. You know, I have some strong opinions and some facts and some chat logs to back it. You can find information on www.catfishforthecontent.com for Gregory's page. I am every time I see. He had done a really good job of hiding his identity online up until I put all of his pictures out there. So, I met Greg on an app called Grindr, and very quickly our conversation moved over to text messages where I let him know that I was about to have 14 candles on my cake in a couple of weeks. He really, really was excited about that. And in the 3 weeks that I was talking to him, he actually, according to the chat logs, fell in love with this decoy. He asked her upwards of 100 different questions, sometimes asking the same question twice, and I had to scroll back through my chat logs to jog my memory of what was my answer to that question. He must have sent this little girl 20 pictures of his dog, whose name is, what is it, Evie? Yes, Evie, his beautiful, sweet little dog, who unfortunately has to live with him for the rest of her puppy life. This guy is honestly, in my opinion, every mother's worst nightmare. I'm not going to get into all of the dirty details of the chat log because it's very traumatizing to hear it and to discuss it. If that's something that you're interested in reading, you can go to his page on my website at catfishforthecause.com. Should be in the description of this video. I will say all I can stomach saying here on this live stream. This man is just disgusting. He really is. He talked to this girl about potentially having babies with her, having a whole bunch of babies. He told her that he wanted to take her virginity before she had that cake with the 14 candles on it. And he was really, really excited about the idea of that. He was actually, according to the chat logs, conspiring to commit interstate sex trafficking. He was planning to come from where he is in New York to Massachusetts to pick the girl up, have a sleepover in New York, do what he wanted to do to her, and then bring her home. He discussed all of these options. He even went as far as to say if she were to end up pregnant, she would have to say that it was somebody at school who that happened with and not him, and that she couldn't tell anybody about him. He never did send a pic of his, man parts, but he did send a disgusting video of him doing the squirt squirt, which is also a crime in New York. He was not arrested for the chat logs between my decoy and himself, but he was later arrested by ICAC after they did their own investigation. This happened 8 months after I stopped talking to him, and 8 months after I turned in a tip to the Albany State Police. I let them know about the conversation that Greg and I were having, his phone number, that he lived in a small town outside of Albany, that was Sherwood Town, and that he was one of the most evil people and dangerous people that I have ever spoken to, in my opinion. This man was working for, I believe it was UPS at the time, and he no longer is there now after his arrest. He also no longer lives in a public place where there are other families living. He's not allowed to live there. From what I was told by a woman who reached out via my Instagram, my Catfish for the Cause Instagram, she reached out and said that she met Greg on Tinder after his arrest, and that he told her all sorts of things. But then when she looked him up, she found my social media and my website, and she was asking me to tell her what I could about Greg. This woman has a child, a little girl, and when I sent her to my website, she told me that she read every single message and that she knows that it was him behind the messages because a lot of what was said in the messages were exactly what he said to her on Tinder. And according to this person, Gregory is living in a special place for fucked up men somewhere in New York. He is allowed to leave. He does have his dog. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true. This is just what my source told me. Feel free to do your own research, form your own opinions. Do not harass this man. Do not bother him. He needs all the help he can get in this world so that he doesn't harm a child. That is my biggest concern. Gregory's biggest concern is nobody knowing that he's into kids and what he did. But this kind of thing can't be swept under the rug. This needs to be exposed. And I can promise, as long as I am breathing, I will continue to speak about this man, Gregory, what he did, and continue to pay for the catfishforthecause.com website. When an adult hurts a child and sexually exploits them, the trauma that they cause lasts forever. So as such should the exposure of their dirty, disgusting desires. While talking with Gregory, he told me that, he had a pretty like, stable childhood financially. His parents were well off. They spoiled him with items, with whatever he wanted, but not their time. And, I don't know if he's trying to excuse his behavior for that, but I really don't find it to be an excuse. And, you we have videos to a YouTube channel over the bid begging me to take them down. He admitted that it was messed up and never hurt anybody. If little Rosa was a real girl, the messages would hurt her. Is still waiting, gonna have, I don't know, I think a jury trial or something like that. So I've been keeping in touch with the prosecutor on this case, and I'm just waiting for that date to be scheduled. I do absolutely plan on attending this in person. I do absolutely intend on getting all of the body camera footage and anything else, if I'm allowed to get it, once his case is done. I mean, I'm going to enjoy more than anything if I'm able to see ICAC move in and arrest him. Like, nothing would make me happier than to do that. So, ultimately, I just want to help protect kids and expose monsters. And I want people like this to stay away from single mothers and stay away from kids. He needs to stay far, far, far away from kids. I don't know why he thinks it's a good idea for him to date any single parents. It's absolutely not. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to look at the chat. I haven't really. This is my first live stream to discuss creepos. So let's see who's in the chat. Thank you for being here. Oh, look, my favorite detective in the chat. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. Yeah, I just want to apologize. I keep taking a couple of breaks just to gather my thoughts. This is, a pretty heavy issue, pretty heavy topic. And, I'm sick to my stomach talking about this guy, looking at this guy, thinking about him. He's got that court date coming up, and I just I know that it's going to have the proper outcome, and kids will be safer with this man being labeled, and I hope that he ends up on the registry. I will be checking for that. And the thing is, I don't think there's any help for these people. I don't think you can counsel someone out of being a monster. They're attracted to what they're attracted to. And this man, being that I met him on Grindr, he's attracted to men, women, young ones. Hopefully he's not fucking with his dog, that sweet, innocent little dog. So many monsters in this world. I really knocked it out the park, though, exposing this one. This man discussed all sorts of things that turn him on, all sorts of things that he's into. He even said something to the effect of he enjoys his balls slapping against another man's balls when he's behind them. I mean, that's pretty explicit. That's pretty disgusting. And hey, as long as it's a grown man, you leave kids alone. What you do, I guess, is your business. But when he sent that text through, it made me sick. And if you don't believe me, feel free to read the chat log. It's wild. I do plan on following up on this case, and I will do a follow-up video as soon as I have updates. A few things that you can find in the chat log are Gregory singing happy birthday to the decoy. He sent a video of that. He also sent about 20 pictures of his dog. He sent messages at all hours of the day and night, even when this kid was in school. He was trying to get her on a phone call, but I kept on saying that my mom was home and she would hear me. I mean, it was bad. Bad. This is probably the worst chat log that I've participated in, excluding the yucky picture because there wasn't one. But I mean, this is just sick. There's nothing else to say, besides that. And he's still walking around, a free man with some restrictions and waiting for his court date. And the thing is, he doesn't even take full accountability for what he did wrong. And one of the comments that he wrote on my previous YouTube video, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry that I have offended you. Please forgive me. Please take this video down." And I'm like, what? That is like a half-ass apology. He's like, "I've never really hurt anybody. I know I'm messed up." Yeah, man, you are messed up, to be honest. And I just hope that he doesn't hurt anybody. He's only in his 30s. He has a long life left to live. And so he really needs to be monitored extremely, extremely closely. If you know this guy, if you're friends with this guy, just please be careful. Protect your kids. Talk to them. Check their devices. If you don't know this guy, still check your kids' devices and talk to them. So many shows in this world. So little time. Please check back soon for the updates. And for now, my name is Shay, and on this matter, that's all I can say. Thank you for being